And the question that Peter is posing is not very a simple one. We already heard from Her Excellency that the ingredients are clear. The transition that we have to face or have to do is utmost important, that we can do this transition in energy, and so energy efficiency and renewables are the solution for the middle and longer term. And we, I think, with all the cruelty of the energy crisis, we have to see this as a chance to boost this transition. And so the instrument, or some of the bigger instruments that Germany is willing to use is to protect the most vulnerable ones with money transfers, but to try to make it very targeted helps and aids, and then to give these energy prices the momentum to boost energy savings as well, and not to use more fossil fuels that we have to. And of course, we have to invest in a lot of money in renewable energy and in efficiency measures in the industry as well. The new fuel for the future might be hydrogen as well, and there's a lot of money to spend on it. But we have to divide it, or to be very careful in this policy field, not to prolong the use of methane or fossil gas, because we are now as well investing a lot of money in new fossil infrastructure, LNG terminals and stuff, and we have to buy gas abroad from new sources that we or where we cannot say how cruel and catastrophic the environmental impacts of these sources are going to be or are. And so we have to be very quick with the transition to renewables. And I hope that the governmental instruments that we choose to put forward are the right ones and well balanced. And the other side is that civil society and the local and municipality level is up to the challenge and can put strategies on the ground forward that help us to come together and to make this transition a reality.
Personally, I think that what I would point out as being important is that we see now with the COVID crisis that globalization is very effective in terms of money, but not so effective in terms of security. And if you put these three words in a priority list, security always comes first. And then what happens, the second is affordability, and always the third one is the sustainability. However, we also know that if biodiversity is collapsing, climate change affects it negatively, then this has an impact on security, on affordability. So everything is linked to everything, in fact. And personally, I think that also in the case of energy production, a kind of balance, we have to find a new balance between global and local. So for instance, I have a big hope in energy communities, in local energy communities, and this is, we are at the very beginning with this issue, but how you can produce your own energy. We have very good examples how you can set up your own local energy mix to have, because we see that everybody wants to get more independent from energy imports now. So this is one thing. And this will happen, I think, in many cases, not only for energy, but also for agricultural products and so on, for food and so on and so on. So, and what I wanted to tell you is that with these many sectors that were mentioned, that the most important what I see, and I also see it via our operational program, is that you cannot solve anymore a problem on your own. I mean, water management will never solve the problem without agriculture, and so on and so on. And I can mention a number of policies where this is the case. And I also think that this is also the case for energy. It's the case for climate change, and so on and so on. So the best way forward, I would say, and this gives you lots of room also in case of innovation. So the best way forward is to try to cooperate more and more with your partners and the sectors that are linked to another sector.
Yeah, we can say that our climate policy strategies and plans also include some very important elements on, for example, renewables and energy efficiency. For example, we would like to reach a share of renewables of 21% within the energy mix until 2030. There is also very important and ambitious targets for energy efficiency until 2030. So this really, the Hungarian concept is that we cannot make climate policy without energy policy. So for example, we have a joint state secretariat for these two issues, because it's always like two sides of the coin. So it's very important for us to treat these two issues integrated. And what I can also say is that currently our national energy and climate plan is under revision, and most probably also the national energy strategy will be under revision as well. I personally think that this revision will come very, very useful, also from the aspect to integrate the new important technologies that were already mentioned, such as the hydrogen and energy storage. So we are also planning with those as well. As you might know, yeah, we have ambitious goals with renewables and the energy efficiency, but also we have to admit that even, especially in these times, we cannot omit the bridging role of natural gas and also the role of nuclear energy. So yeah, we must say that currently these two are also important part of the Hungarian mix, and well, it also we can say now that it also complies with the EU taxonomy, because it's the case, in fact, in many other member states. So yeah, we have to admit that for the moment it's necessary for us. I would like to shortly reflect also on the role of coal in Hungary, because that was maybe less mentioned so far. Currently, we have one last remaining coal-fired power plant, the Matra power plant, and well, it's for the moment it's like 14% of the energy production, so still an important share. And you might have heard well, interesting news about continuing to burn lignite in the Matra power plant and things like that. Here we have to say, and it's very important, that in the relevant government regulation, it says that we have to analyze the possibility from many aspects. How could we get a better use of lignite in the current crisis? But it's very important to see that the short-term plans and the long-term plans are not the same here. So yes, in the short term, this intensification seems necessary, but we have the government has to analyze how. But on the long term, it's very important to mention that that's the modernization and the environmentally and climate friendly transformation of the plant is still important for us. We have a huge project coordinated by our ministry, and it's co-financed by also the LIFE program and the Hungarian government. It's called LIFE IP, North Hungarian Transition. And we have 21 partner organizations there, basically all relevant actors in the region of the Matra and both nationally in energy policy, energy companies, civil society. So it's a very important project for us, and that project is still running. It has not stopped. So it's very important still for us to transform the plant and to think about the future and contribute to our climate goals, climate neutrality, and so on. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that short term, long term, we have to think both.